Welcome back, this is Good Larp with Scar, and today we are going to be doing part 1 of my new terraforming playlist series thingy. Anyway, we're going to be taking this hill behind me, and we are going to be walking through the steps that I would take to terraform this. Now, probably not going to do the back of the build, but I will walk you through the steps, from doing the terrain, to doing the trees, to doing the rocks. Now I have this palette that I put together for the hill. It's made of moss, grass blocks, and as well as some green wool. And then for the dirt, I have some coarse dirt, some rigid dirt, and then that one muddy pathway block. I forget what it's called. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and place all of these blocks down. I'm also going to make this hill into a nicer looking shape with these nice terraces here. Then I'm going to go ahead and place all those grass blocks, moss blocks, and wool blocks down. And after that, I'm going to make a bunch of these kind of muddy looking patches around the whole hill. And it kind of gives contrast to the hill, breaks things up a little bit, and will provide a bit more of a guide to the rocks and trees that I'll be putting on the hill later. Now for these rocks, I'm going to keep them pretty simple. It's not too complicated. I'm mostly just freehanding this. There isn't too much blending going in here. Just trying to make some natural looking rocks that have some wear and tear on them. I'm using these darker blocks. I believe these are the basalt blocks, or as Scar would say, the bath salt. And then I'm using some andesite, some stone. I have these moss blocks here. I have the mossy stone slabs, and that's about it. I have some of the stone buttons as well to make some smaller stones around, but I'm keeping pretty simple with the rocks. So I'll also be coming back later and doing a little bit more with the rocks as I go. But as you can see, most of the rocks are done now. I have that one really big one in the back, and as you'll see in a minute, I'll do a little bit more there. I end up messing around with them a little bit more, but for the most part, this is how they look. I just was going for something natural looking that looked like it had been there for a long time, something to give a little bit of contrast to the hill. You can see I put some of those darker colors in there with the bath salt. And now I'm just going to put some andesite walls down, give it a little bit more detail. Now I'm going to go for some of these smaller plants here. Some of these small trees I have. And you can see with these two trees in the middle and on the far right one looks like a dead version of the one in the middle. I thought that looked pretty neat, so I'll mix some of those in there. Then I'm using jungle leaves for some very small bushes with the torch flowers and the firefly bushes, just to add a little bit more color to my landscape. So now I've gone ahead and placed all those down. I haven't gone too crazy with it. I've made it fairly sparse. But you can see I put some of the torch flowers down there, which have that really beautiful yellow and orange color to them, which add a decent bit of extra color and pop to the landscape. I've added some of those small looking mini trees around on top of the rocks, and they just help give a little bit more detail and bring a little bit more life to the landscape. Now I'm going to start with my first tree here. So I'm gonna go with a mix of items. We're kind of going for a bit of a pine tree looking tree. I'm just gonna freehand it, and then we'll probably put 4 or 5 of those trees around various sizes. Nothing too crazy. Right now I'm just kind of picking out my block palette and trying to figure out how I want the trunks to look. Again, we're not going with anything super crazy for the leaves. We're going to leave it fairly sparse. We're not going for a super big bushy tree. We're going for more of a sparse pine tree look, which I really like. Those are some of my favorite pine trees. They're not super thick. They're tall, skinny trees that go pretty high into the air and aren't super bushy. Good. I've added a few more trees here, and it's helping fill in the landscape. I've essentially done a very similar thing on each of the trees, and I'll continue to edit them a little bit, mess around with them, but for the most part, these are going to be the main trees. But we do have a big gap over here, and that needs to get filled in with something, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put 1 or 2 more small trees in as well, just to fill it up a little bit more and to provide more of a backdrop. I'm also going to add a nice path. I'm not going to make it too complicated. A nice path that'll lead up here, and I think I'll put a little bench up here at the top where you can look at the view. And as you can see, I've finished. I have the little bench here. I have the path. I did end up putting 1 more small tree in here in the backdrop, and then I also put this big dead tree up here, which I thought looked pretty cool. Gave some more contrast and was something a little bit different from the other trees. This is supposed to be a dead tree over there. So I think it's looking pretty good. I think we are about done here. I might tweak a few more things, but other than that, I think we are finished. It's looking pretty good. Thank you for watching, and hope you come back for my next video, part 2 of terraforming.